Welcome back. We're starting out with some prayer training. Obviously, the best way to use our bones is at the Chaos Altar, as that gives us the most XP per bone, and... what's that noise?
Oh shit.
Now then, here's Highland Andy, or Highlander for short, the pinnacle of Snowflake Iron Men accounts. His goal is to do everything Gielinor has to offer, once and only once. This is HighlanderMan. Welcome back. For real this time. We left you last time at the start of our fishing journey. We want to get a nice chunk of food so we can train our combat level up to 40, and then start getting Slayer tasks from Vanaker. By combining him with Chirel, that should give us our best chance at some Slayer levels. So, how did we get on with our cunning plan? Well, since we already cheated our way to level 8 fishing from the Evil Bob Island random event, I wanted to start out by fishing Karambwanji, as they have a higher catch rate at my level than Shrimp do. However, those hobgoblins are sticklers for Iron Man integrity, and they promptly beat my ass anytime I tried to get near the spots. No shortcuts this time. As everyone knows, shrimping ain't easy, but that's not going to stop us. For fishing, the rule is that you can use each fishing tool on each fishing spot until either it moves or your inventory is full, whichever comes first. That means I can come back to these spots later and use a bait rod to catch sardines and herring. This does lead to a lot of standing around waiting for spots to move so I can maximise the time spent fishing on each one, but that's the deal. The main optimisation for fishing will be to exhaust all the lower tier spots before moving on to the higher level ones, as we'll catch more high level fish the later we leave it to catch them. And by high level fish, I'm talking about tuna. We were lucky enough, however, to catch ourselves an easy clue bottle, which was unexpected. There are no limits on completing clues, as long as doing so doesn't require you to break any other rules. So off we went to complete it. We were pleasantly surprised to be rewarded with a black hatchet, some Nardar teleports, and a staff of air, which are all very useful items for once. We do in fact take those. Back to fishing, and we depleted all the small net spots at Lumbridge, getting us to level 14 fishing. So we headed off to the next spot, but on our way we got ourselves frogged. Like this video to unfrog me. Our next spot was Catherby, which gave us enough shrimp to get to 25 fishing. We even started to get some anchovies while we were at it. We're already a lot higher level than I thought we'd be at this stage. Originally I thought we'd be lucky to catch a lobster, but at this rate, maybe even a swordfish will be possible. One thing I'd like to hear from you guys is your predictions on the levels we will reach by the end of the series. With the exponential scaling of the experience required, it gets kind of tricky to predict, but it would be interesting to go back to at the end of the series and see who got closest to the final totals. I'll post mine in the comments too once I've thought about it a bit more, so come and see if you agree with me, or call me names if you don't. With a nice stock of fish collected, it was time to start cooking them up. Now with our fish stock being limited, we want to make sure we burn as few as possible to get the most out of them. From my research, that means starting with the shrimp. But we are on the lookout for cooking options that can't burn, as a good way to train without the possibility of failure. Now, ideally, we would use the Hasidius kitchen, which has a 5% increased success rate, but that requires 100% Hasidius favour, which I don't think is going to be possible in this mode, though I am going to still try later on. The next best choice would be the Lumbridge Castle range, which has an unspecified decreased burn rate of some foods, but that requires the cook's assistant quest to be completed, which we said currently quests that reward XP are banned. However, episode 1 me was a fool. I made this rule basically to stop us doing a level skip cheat code to skip a bunch of the early game, but I feel it's a bit too restrictive in this state, cutting us off from a lot of content such as the entirety of Mauritania, and quests really are an iconic part of RuneScape, so it feels lame to not do half of them. So let me propose the quest rules v2. We are allowed to complete experience rewarding quests, only when the experience rewarded will give us at most 1 level in each skill awarded without going over. So looking at the wiki page, it's this column here. The experience awarded has to be less than this value. This gives Cook's Assistant a level requirement of 15 cooking. Hopefully this isn't too complicated or convoluted to understand. I know it probably feels crazy arbitrary, but the main focus is on making a good series with interesting challenges, and the rules are designed to reflect that. If you disagree with the change, let me know. It's our series, and we can change the rules to whatever is the most fun. So, first goal is 15 cooking for Cook's Assistant. After our inventory of shrimp, we got to level 6 and unlocked the ability to make fruit blasts, a gnome cocktail. These can't be failed. So, as we said a few paragraphs ago, it's exactly what we're after. Switching over to making cocktails will help us burn less food overall. So, let's get wasted, gnome style. Making a fruit blast requires a pineapple, an orange, and 2 lemons. I do just have one question for you. What colour is an orange?
You bonehead. Its color is the same as its name, just like a lemon.
The only place to get lemons is at the gnome stronghold, so we went and bought all the fruit. Did you know that we're talking to the 2 gnome barmen? You could buy a lemon, an orange, and a cocktail shaker from each of them. We also bought the glasses we would need to hold our beverages in. We can get more oranges and pineapples from Trader Stan's various shops, but lemons can only be bought here. I also raided this cupboard for all the gnome cooking tools you can find in it. Making a fruit blast gives you 50 cooking experience in total, which is quite a lot for something you can make at level 6 and that can't burn. It is a bit of a faff to do, however, and we'll run out of glasses pretty soon. A few drinks in, we unlocked the next drink up, which is the pineapple punch, which gives more XP but requires a lemon, 2 oranges, 3 pineapples, and a lime. A few more drinks in, we ran out of pineapples, so we went to Trader Stan's posts at Khazard, Catherby, and Port Sarim to buy some more, along with some oranges. Look everyone, it's the real Trader Stan! Giles also gave us a visit, and we did our 1 completion of him for an uncut ruby. That sounds weird. With all of our glasses used up, we made it to 13 cooking, so almost at the 15 we needed for Cook's Assistant. So back to finishing up the shrimp. While we were at the Draenor Bank, we stumbled upon Teeth Dude's Quest Cake party. Shout out to Teeth Dude. Luckily we had all these drinks made, so we came prepared for a proper party.
My shiny teeth that twinkle just like the stars in space. My shiny teeth that sparkle adding beauty to my face. My shiny teeth that glisten just like a Christmas tree. You know they walk a mile just to see me smile. Woo! Shiny teeth and me. Yes, they're all so perfect.
They even invited us to their clan. What a legend! We can cross that off the list. With that inventory of shrimp, we've reached level 15, so it was time to do Cook's Assistant. Attention, all RuneScape gamers. The Lumbridge Cook is in a bit of a mess, and he needs your help. To help him, all he needs is your RuneScape password, your RuneScape bank pin, and your mother's maiden name. Get out of here, stop trying to scam our viewers. We actually already had all the ingredients in our bank already from the scrounging we've been doing, so we just had to hit the mill to grind the flour, and it was job done. With the quest speedrunning coming out sometime soon, this is a great chance to get some practice. With that done, we can now use the Cookomatic 100 to use its official name, which has a just under 5% reduced burn rate on some foods. Time to finally finish this little cooking grind. We ended up with about 250 cooked shrimp, burning about 50, which is actually a really good rate, and it's all thanks to alcohol.
Please drink responsibly.
With the food acquired, we're almost ready to start some combat. We just need some better equipment. So we started by grabbing the steel plate legs from the wildy. Yes, I do know about the steel plate body as well, but I really didn't like my odds of reaching that alive, so I didn't bother with that. I decided that now would be a good time to get those last 2 floors of the stronghold done as well, now that we're a bit stronger and have some food. So we got ourselves 5k and some rainbow boots, which are the objectively correct choice of boots, by the way. I bought myself a steel full helm and steel plate body to have a bit of extra defense, and thus saving some food. Money is really tight at the moment, so we won't always be able to have all the best gear we want. We'll probably stick in this steel for a long while. I also sold my iron plate body back to the Varrock armor shop to get some cash back. Quick heads up, the rule on selling back to shops is that the shop stock must be at its base stock or higher when you sell it. Last thing was to buy a mithril scimitar from Zeke, and we're ready to roll. We'll be starting out by going back to rock crabs, then probably to sand crabs, and then we'll wing it from there. Our goal is to reach a 40 combat level. For my estimates, focusing on just just melee, we will need to get base 35 stats. So let the challenge begin. What you just heard is the RuneScape main theme, covered on authentic traditional instruments. The main part is done in Uilleann pipes, which is like bagpipes, but they're Irish. All are being played by one amazing gentleman. I've shouted him out before, but he deserves another one, so I've linked him in the description again. Check him out if you're ever in the need of a bagpipes guy or a medieval musician. The guy's a legend. Not to gush too hard, but I am in love with how the song turned out. I could just listen to it all day. I'll upload it on its own, so you all can do that too. Here's everything we got as drops during the murder spree. Nothing particularly notable in there, except those 2 clue scrolls, but a hell of a lot of bones. Most of it will probably sit in the bank for a long time before we get around to using it, but using those bones, that starts now. Best option to get the most out of our bones and give us anxiety is the Chaos Altar in the Wilderness, which gives an average of 7 times the normal experience per bone, but we could get murdered at any time and lose a whole inventory, which would suck. In order to help us out, we decided to contact an expert in PvP and wilderness content. So everyone, please give a warm welcome to YouTube sensation, Framed!
Oh my gosh.
So Framed, any advice on how to best use the Chaos Altar?
Bro, how pathetic do these fucking people get? That guy has been harassing me this entire week, calling me all week. Oh my god.
What a nice guy. Our first inventory of bones was enough to get us to level 10 prayer, which gets us to 40 combat and means that this grind is finally over. Be surprised to know how hard it is to find enough stuff to kill that can't be assigned as a Slayer task, isn't part of a quest, isn't used in clue scrolls, can be accessed at any level and won't kill me.
I don't know what I'm doing.
We headed over to Vanica and told him to stop being a pussy and assign us whatever he can, regardless of combat level. The more possible tasks that he can assign us, the less likely we are to get the same task twice, and therefore, the more Slayer tasks in total we should be able to complete. Looking at the list though, I just realised something else. To get access to more tasks, we need to do some quests. The main ones being Priest in Peril, the Lost City, and some of Dragon Slayer. That means that we have another grind on our hands first before we can actually start slaying. Looks like I need to do some theory crafting first to figure out exactly how we're going to do this, but I think this episode's long enough already, so I will leave you to the outro. See ya! And there we go. Finally, episode 3's done. I feel like I've been telling people for weeks that it's almost going to be out any day now, but here we are, it's finally out. Most of that time was the animation at the start. You wouldn't believe how long that took to make. Anyone who does animation for a living is insane. I'm super happy with how it turned out. It's really cool, but I'm never doing that again. It took forever. Also just want to say big thanks to the Hourglass clan that Teeth Dude invited me to. You guys are great. You've all been so nice to me. You've been so welcoming, and it's so nice to have people to chat with while you're playing the game. You know, when you're playing RuneScape, clicking on rocks for hours at a time, it can get like a pretty lonely experience, but having dudes to chat with is just really nice. And you give me some great support, so I really appreciate that. See ya!